at events named Don't Park on the Grass.
He tends to do that here and there.
It's going to be a matter of Dredgelords finding a way to contain him as he goes on a solo mission. But we are starting now. Losers Finals, Discount Veterans versus Dredgelords.
And it's going to be Dredgelords in the pink, Discount Veterans starting off in the green to start with. Really curious in seeing these compositions. Silver bringing out that Brella. And, you know, more or less, I feel like the Discount Veterans side has tended to stick to weapons, but I'm seeing some changes here at least. And so we'll see how they play out here. As we see Meep, that splash scope we were talking about, kind of just headed towards the middle of the bridge there and having a field day, playing as aggressively as they want. Gets the immediate snipe. That Sly, the backline going down, and that's going to be an offensive start here for the Rainmakers. And Silver now put on the defensive here for their side.
Yeah, and again, that's basically a double team with a bomb and a Rainmaker. Now, fortunately, Slimy able to respawn in time, but they're going to get a chance to pop this again and push up. Perps and Sly going to need to play this very wisely. Really,
nicely done there. Yeah, I was okay. For a second, I was scared there. I think maybe, just maybe, we should see Discount Veterans playing a little bit more patiently sometimes at times, but it looks like they were able to keep the defensive up. Sly here with the range of that weapon will be able to at least get a splat on, but will it be enough? PK with that Inkjet gets towards the Rainmaker, at least over the Toxic Mist, and it might be able to do some damage if they can land the shot, but not quite yet. Not this time around, and it's going to be still an open Rainmaker for the taking here before it spawns back.
And it's worth noting on this map that I think that if you're Discount Veterans, you are completely okay with how that went, because you do not really start getting dangerous point numbers until you walk up that uninkable ramp that's so difficult to do. So you're okay with how that went. You know, now you've brought it back to neutral here. You can gain some control. Great Stingray there by Sly is going to give him the opportunity to move up.
Sure.
And I think, you know, even though it's 2 minutes off the clock and there's 50 on one side and 0 on the other, they have to be happy with that.
No. I think this is a great place for them to be in that, exactly as you kind of said, they're in a great place where they know they have a good book now. They have the book to be able to look at least on the other team, and say, okay, is everything that we provide as a team right now the right answer? Maybe they have to change things up in the middle of it, but this is a team that I feel is very open and willing to be able to communicate to each other that something needs to change if that is the case. Fizzy Bomb comes out.
Coming up here, keeping it neutral. Who are they going to move up is the real question. So you see Perps coming around on this flank. Can he get all three? And he does. This should be the lead. The last one up is going to be the Charger, one of the only weapons that could save it.
Nicely done.
That shot missing, maybe what ends the game for them.
Sly, can he walk it on over?
Oh.
Wasn't able to, but get to the 23-point marker here towards it. Slimy going to opt to play a little bit safer here. That's the right play, but maybe they're going to lurk around here for a little bit to let those super jumps come in. And will that be enough to keep that Rainmaker here? Does Dredgelords decide to pick it up? Do they try to let it reset?
By Slimy.
Slimy with the double, maybe the triple. Oh my goodness, almost there, but did have that Ink Arbor, and unfortunately is going to lose it there. But either way, that being said, sure, Dredgelords is able to oust them out, but losing the lead there, fortunately enough for them, 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes left to go in this one. And surely the confidence of how the match first started off.
And such a smart decision just to kind of reiterate how smart it was to go back and let the jumps come in, because that keeps the pressure at the front door and makes flanks like the one that Slimy did possible. Remember that Slimy was originally the last one alive there, and he was the one who instigated that by jumping, or not even jumping back, moving back to allow the people to jump.
Right.
That's high-level stuff, and that's good communication.
See Silver here on the left side, playing tactfully with that Brella, moving up with the assistance of Perps by their side. Suki here forced to chase back a little bit, but does have the help of Meep joining them. And now Suki with the splat, followed up by the baller, tries to get into 3 squid faces of the opposing team's color, but will they be able to do it? Nothing doing just as of now. Unfortunate for them. Ball is still in their court. Be able to make some moves, but
can they find Sly? Sly's Stingray, maybe the
deciding
factor.
That's the push.
They're going to walk it up.
29.
Who was it who stopped them? There's one person left up there right now, and I think it was the combination of Slimy and Sly.
That Stingray is so important. If they can, yes, the Suki gets splattered on right there, and that's going to be Slimy taking the Rainmaker, moving it to the left. That might not be it. Just get the Silver. Oh, no, that's going to be end of the push. And finally, if they should be able to get script down, yep, they do, and that is going to be, if nothing else, some solid defense at the last minute coming in from Discount Veterans.
And we said there that it might be Sly's Stingray that's the difference in that situation. You saw them chasing him down as fast as they could with both a Ray and an Inkjet, but it was not enough and they pay the price for it here. This is another push coming. This is as much to melt time off the clock in a strong position as it is going for a knockout.
Nice Rainmaker shot laid in there. Meep waiting for the scope, but decides to opt for the players to the left of him while that Rainmaker goes running. And that Rainmaker is going to keep running till the end of this game. That's game 1 going to Discount Veterans. Taking it over Dredgelords in a rather last-minute fashion, but we take those, is I believe how some commentators
scary
phrase
game.
it.
I hope if the whole set is like that, we're in for a treat. Let's go game 7. Every game exactly like that.
Let's go Splatoon 2.
Let's do it.
For the Nintendo Switch. We have Slimy with the 12 KDA leading the team there, and the Pizza leading this team in more ways than one.
Shoutouts to Pizza.
Well, we're going into game 2 right now. How do we see this one panning out for, obviously, Discount Veterans, who has taken a little bit of a lead?
Muscle Forge Fitness. If there was ever a map for Perps to go off, this would be the one.
Is what my mom would say to this one.
First checkpoint is so scary to move past. Now, if you get past it and you get to that second checkpoint, it's like the level itself kind of protects you from a lot of assault on that like 60 to like 20 range. But you have to get there first, and those are 2 very difficult checkpoints to clear.
It's something that, basically when you get to that point, then it's kind of demoralizing in that sense because you know the mountain that is in front of you. But I would trust that it doesn't even get to that point, honestly. I could see this one being a very close game because getting to that point is a pretty difficult task.
Especially against a sniper. And we have seen some crazy snipes so far and just good positioning as a whole. So
in that sense alone, I would honestly kind of look to see where Dredgelords goes with this game, and I would maybe even give the chip on their shoulder for this one.
I would say so too. And I know that Perps went regular blaster, vanilla blaster. It would not surprise me if we get 2 inkjets coming out from Discount Veterans here, just to try and attack that area that's sometimes very difficult to do so conventionally.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, we have our players running up. I think Slimy's weighing on some options here.
Or eating his pizza.
Or that. And you know what? Either one is a viable option here.
Well, I remember talking to Slimy and Perps. They say they don't play enough to have good gear, so it takes them a while to pick which gear they want to use because, and I quote, it's all bad.
Yeah, those are answer from those 2 the players.
I know.
Sure.
I was just saying that. Yes.
Anyways, for those on the stream, we know that at least game 2 is happening, and Dredgelords is looking to bring this one, reel it back on in. Nothing too much doing, at least in weapon composition. We see the Tri-Slasher come out again for Discount Veterans. Slimy going back.
So this is a really interesting here. They're going to be going with double burst bomb, which is another way that you can pressure a charger out of there. It's not, actually that's triple burst bomb, my mistake. So if you want to get somebody moving and out of there, that's a great way to do it. Just burst damage the heck out of the situation. And that is going to make the job of the blaster even easier.
That's 2 quick ones, if I must say so for myself. That tower coming in on the left slide. Unfortunately going to get sniped, but watch out for Slimy. He's looking for blood, or I should say ink, at the bottom of this drop. Meep doesn't know what to do. That's 3. That's a player and an auto bomb to the left of you, and Meep's going to go running home scared a little bit here.
Yeah, but look at this. Meep is doing a great job of moving around, but can't really find one specific spot to post up. And that is, again, because of the pressure that they're able to put on. And the jump, spinning a Stingray on a jump.
I can only imagine the visual when jumping in and you're looking down. It's like, oh, this is the surprise party my friends were talking about.
Yes, a death laser. But now we've been talking a lot about what Discount Veterans has been doing. That was really solid defense there from Dredgelords. They are going to take the lead off of this and wisely covering that flank. So many pushes end because that flank is left open.
Right. No, it's so easy, of course, because of the environment blocking your entire field of view, towards the middle of the map. So using the environment to get around your opponent is easy as heck on this map. So for PK to really call that out preemptively is, I would say, something that's required at this level of play, and doing that to a T here.
This checkpoint is really the battle zone right now. This will be what it is shown. They already got past it here, and like we said, it's very easy to get further once you get this far. Slimy cleaning it up, but not able to find those shots very early. Finally cleaning up Meep here. This should be the end of the push. But a lot of that started when they were able to finally push their charger up a little bit further. So often you see it where it's disconnected. You have to be able to move your back line up with your front line.
But speaking of frontline, we have one particular frontline member with a double splat here, nearly with a triple.
I don't know how that didn't kill. I'm going to be honest.
That ink armor was a few seconds too late. I didn't see it myself, but Perps going to try to push onto this splatter shot here. Does not get the last shot there. Neat. Still in a great place to be able to defend this one. This should be a defensive effort on the effort of Dredgelords. So, with that being said, Silver here in the middle of the map, tries Slosher, surely.
That was one of the stronger ballers that I think I've seen here.
And Silver getting pushed back a little bit due to the Stingray. It is going to be targeted for a little bit, and that's going to mean that he's going to push off to the other side of the map where defense is more or less irrelevant here. So,
see here, looks like Perps was able to get a nice double there to kind of slow that one down here. But again, Marked and Meep going to punish them again. An up close and personal battle. This is looking pretty rough for them right now. They do have a comp that is great at pressuring people off of those sides, but they haven't really even been able to set that up. It's been more of, I guess, kind of a neutral game. They've tried to find a way and try to build their specials to push, but so far it's been an uphill battle for them, and that is no pun intended, I promise you.
Couple hills to go up in this uphill battle. BK. Oh, wait, no, that was his own killer.
That was his bomb, but that was really smart.
Look.
All right, this is the moment, though. Look at Silver pushing up here. This is where the burst bombs will come into play. It's going to give him a chance to pressure.
Down.
Can Perps get a double here? Perps did get one, but I think Squip was able to get it before. It could have been more, and that's going to be a full wipe. Everything. That was the situation they were looking for. They had them pushed back. They had three in the right area, and they had their blaster in position. Credit the members of Dredgelords not folding under that pressure.
Yeah, that ink armor being incredibly crucial at that point. And that's something that we've seen for at least, a couple of times, especially, since the beginning of this map, the beginning of this game and its lifespan, especially when ink armor was so relevant, and it still stays true to this day, where we see it coming out clutch here for our side in orange. And now Silver going to have to at least be able to, nope, that's not going to be it. Squip and Co. will be able to take this tower to that second checkpoint. And for now, it should be the game going in Dredgelord's favor, and maybe even looking at a knockout here.
Maybe so. Slimy having something to say about that, though. Got a double and nearly a triple. Going to force the last one, Squid, back to the middle. They are going to get a chance, and they will have a counter ray that they will be able to use. They already have two specials up, Ink Armor and a Bomb Rush. Right now, though, Dredgelords knows they have to get through 2 checkpoints if they want to lose. That's going to be 2 opportunities for easy kills, easy picks. And this is where those point sensors really start to come into play, because now they can't sneak around. You see the jump back. They are going to have to deal with the ray, and they already spent theirs. This one may end the way that so many tower control games end.
Yep. Towards that 50-point marker, so that's that second checkpoint, and yep, that's going to be it. So it's a 1-to-1 set here in Losers Finals, best of 7, of course. And it's looking to, and shaping to be a close one here. Dredgelords gets on the board. We have ourselves a set.
1-1. Great response, and we knew that this was going to be a strong map and mode, because we talked about Perps, but we also talked about how if they couldn't move the charger, which they put a premium on, it was going to be difficult. When you put a premium on something and it still isn't working, that is indicative that the other team knows how to respond to it and plays against it in a very sharp and aggressive manner. Now Splat Zone's Kelp Dome, though, this is where the more aggressive painting composition that Discount Veterans has, I feel, will start to shine.
Yeah, this is going to be somewhere where, I mean, of course, if nothing else, very familiar with. Just, a good bit of playing this map over time. But regardless, that kind of frontline energy that you see Slimy bring, for example, thriving in a place like Splat Zone's on Kelp Dome, where, sure, you're going to be moving to the middle of the map, but you have more than enough freedom to roam and rotate around the map where you see fit, where you might call out an enemy flank or anything of that nature.
And you can afford to try to make some big plays here. You can go for an early knockout punch, because if one of you goes down, it takes 3 people with concentrated effort to take this zone. You will not accidentally take this zone. So they can afford to try to make a couple plays, take a couple risks. So we'll see if that is indeed what happens here. After this, of course, will be Clan Blitz Manta Maria. We'll talk about that more, but I'm trying to think here. I guess if you're Meep, you stick with the sniper, right? How will they compensate for that lack of painting?
That's a tough one to answer.
I think
honestly.
it's the answer they have to find. Yeah.
I think that's exactly the difference we're going to see in compositions between game to game. So I think the ball's in their court on that one. As for what I'd want to see, we could see a number of things, honestly, but it would be really cool to see any more presence, at least in terms of putting out ink for a little bit more quicker, because right now their output is just not enough. So. That being said, we're looking to see Dredgelords very much considering the weight of what they're looking at here. Of course, a 2-0 is, a 2-1 is not the most devastating loss, but
and it is worth noting that this tends to be a very, I guess gimmicky is the right word here. This tends to be a map that is not always won by the team that plays it better, if that makes sense. Because of the nature of this map, it can be very easy to lose a map or to lose a game on it, even if it's been one that you've consistently been playing well, just because of the way that it's structured, because it is so difficult to take, because it is so easy to hold.
Right. Well, that being said, one more player to hit the A button.
Is it Slimy again? No, it's not. I just kind of assumed it was.
No, Slimy is almost, we have a couple of our own cam op and our cam op brothers and sisters who do that once in a while, and that's fine.
We do. It's fun. It is fun. That's why we love the lands here. Slimy breaking out the 52 Kensa.
Oh
I love this pick.
I love it. Yes.
Booyah Bomb. And this was one of the best weapons for the 52 back in Splatoon 1.
Yeah.
Hope we see it again. And Perps shedding the blaster in favor of that tried and true T-Tech that dies within the first 10 seconds.
Slimy gets a wrap around at least one. Will he be able to finish off? No, not able to quite. Finally get it, but it comes at the cost of trading with PK. Now PK in a great position to maybe move around towards the inflatable and maybe bring it back just a second, as they already have control of zone and looking for any possible entry points. Now Stingray does come up, identifies Meep, and that's enough to push Meep off, opening up an entryway here for Perps. But will they be able to move? Yes, that's the Stingray coming in for Perps. That's another double coming in, and that's that X factor we were talking about before the set 9. Perps coming in hot.
Perps T-Teching on Kelp Dome at a tournament called Don't Park in the Grass. We have seen this before. We know how this story ends if it is to continue the way that it is right now. But I love the way that they're continuing to put the pressure on and not wait, forcing Meep to make some really tough shots. And you see now that this timer is ticking away. That's a big pick on Sly, though. That was their defensive wall that they had there. And now Meep almost about to put a highlight reel on and coming around with the double team there.
Sweating bullets. That's sweating bullets right there. Meep here with that Stingray.
Very scary. Yeah, I saw him right there. Barely gave up the position. Like, nope, they saw me. They saw me. We're heading back. But again, got to go back to the snipes have been opening things up. Yesterday when Slimy and I were talking, we talked about how the sniper is really the one weapon that can change the entire look of a game with one shot. And we've seen that so often here. The sniper is back and hotter than ever.
Sly here, on the other hand, conversely, trying to do what he can to open up some pain in front of their team, get them swimming in a favorable position. Suki, though, seems to want to stop that immediately. Baller comes out. At least one able to avoid that on their end for now.
All three here.
Everyone is here, and they're able to get at least one splat on the inkjet, but PK isn't going to go down just yet. Almost gets the trade with Slimy, but not enough. Nothing to do. Remain alive for now.
Can they even neutralize it, though?
Oh, it's going to be close. They get it. Yes.
Wow.
Just like that.
That might be the fastest I've ever seen a Kelp Dome switch.
Yeah, no, especially especially when talking about where they really were just physically.
Right. Like, they put all the chips on going that way, and when you said everyone is here, that inkjet being used for almost nothing, that generally spells the end of it. Credit their tenacity and fighting their way through.
Yeah. So Perps, of course, with this team. Now, of course, they can't only just defend,
Smart
but they need to be able
bomb.
to push. Beautiful bomb.
That was clever. So many chargers will oftentimes fall back. They'll be scared. They won't know what to do. They'll jump out, throw a bomb, swim back. You know you have the map advantage there. Get back there. If the bomb doesn't kill him, at least you can hit and know where it is. And this timer's ticking down quick, Iric.
It really is. That's less than 10 good points going here. PK here in plenty good position to answer any frontliners. That's the inkjet that goes out there. It gets taken care of immediately, and that is going to be the game. Dredgelord not only answers back, but it's answering back with 2 games in a row. Game 3 goes in their favor, and we are looking again at a shifting tide.
They have won 5 of their last 6 games.
could say they're on the streak right now.
That's terrifying. Slimy with a nice KA there, but again, Meep on that sniper has not faltered in the face of pressure. So often you see when you have good frontliners and a team that is placing a premium on getting rid of that charger, that the charger falls away. But that's what happens. Dredgelords has been a team for a hot minute. They know each other's ticks, and there's something to be said for chemistry that goes beyond verbal communication, knowing where someone's going to be and trusting that they'll have your back. That's what we've seen, and that's why the Charger's been playing so well. But now, Clan Blitz Manta Maria, this is a setup map. It takes a long time. I believe we saw like 80-10 be a winning score on this yesterday. But then conversely, we also saw with Team EMA a game where one clan decided it both in the 30s. So if you score here, make sure it counts. That's all I'll say.
Really, really does have to count every step of the way there. So we're seeing if they can make those steps count. Those steps sometimes bigger than other steps, but
one small step for Splatkind.
I was actually going to start gradually moving in that direction.
Yeah. See, that's the hard. See, we talked earlier about chemistry, right?
Right.
Chemistry's so important. We've casted at least 6 sets together in our lives.
So at least 6, yes. Single digits still, for sure.
That is true power, but I think that right. So all the momentum is in favor of Dredgelords. What do you want to see from discount veterans? It's pretty clear right now that they have their roles. You have the 2 frontliners in Perps and Slimy. You have the more support-oriented frontliner in Silver with the Brellas and Brushes. And Sly is going to be sticking with the custom jet Squelcher, which is a fine pick. I think all of those are fine picks. What do they need to do differently?
Keep it together. I think I've seen, especially just in terms of, you know, how quick they're able to maybe go down at some points, or even we saw a pretty quick reaction to losing some of the games in winners finals, right, from Slimy. And that's something I think if you're able to keep it together as a team, you have the best players on a team, maybe even in the tournament, to be able to clutch in the moment you wouldn't expect it. And so you've got to have, of all the teams here, the most faith in your team to be able to pull off that kind of comeback. Keep it together because there's some talent right there. Of course, Perps as a frontliner, but Slimy as well. We've seen him put up some numbers too. That being said, though, Slimy with that Rapid Blaster coming on out this time around. And
a man after my own heart here using this Rapid Blaster. I think this is a fantastic pick. You can hide right behind this panel, or this little pillar here in the middle, and you can put a ton of pressure on the opponent, on the snipers going up there and doing their thing. But also, credit to Sly here, switching over to the Tri-Slosher. I think this is a great pick because sometimes if your backliner isn't contributing, you just need to find a way to move them up front and keep the pressure going. I think that's what their pick is here.
And it seems to be their pick, but we'll see how this translates to, right? I mean, obviously, we're going to see Perps at the front line, of course, doing what he normally does. This time it's going to be on the middle of the map, but maybe opting for a pivot. No, not able to get that pivot quite yet. Squip able to take them down. A Clam now in possession of Dredgelords as they near that right side of the map.
Some bubbles being used very early here, trying to ward off and give themselves an advantage here on this left side of the map. They know that they have the tools to assault here. Sly getting put in a really awkward spot. I'm not sure that he needed to really rush forward there.
Exactly.
There was a good call out there. And yeah, you don't win that matchup very often.
We had to see it at least once this tournament.
We had to.
That would have been not protocol at all.
I mean, that's a Brella. You have the Brella on one side, and on the other side, you've got a bottomless pit. But we're going to see a jump in here. Great movement here. PK moving up. That's going to be a score. This might be a big score, actually. There are not many people that are going to be able to have any say on this, and this Stingray is going to make the job even harder. Going to continue to ward them off and zone them away. And what in the world was Perps doing there?
Jeez, they were dancing and dipping and diving all over each other, and Perps is going to finally come out on top, as they are going to have to defend this one. He reeled it in back in because, of course, Discount Veterans not exactly finding that first start they wanted. But, you know, able to recover perfectly fine right now, and they have plenty of time to be able to see themselves to a better lead here. That baller maybe going to start things off here, 9, as things are going to get nice and blue down here.
Nice and blue, and then immediately back green. That's how it goes. And it looks like the Rain was actually able to get the kill, but that is going to be more or less a trade for them here. Silver's still in a position to make some plays happen here. They probably might consider jumping, and Slimy's going to do exactly that. Slimy's going to have a great angle on that sniper there, going to immediately ward them forward, and Silver's going to capitalize on that. You can see they've all been pushed to one side, but credit again, Dredgelords' coordination sliding over They do go 2 down, though.
That big, yeah, I was about to say they weren't able
slid
to
over too fast.
Yeah, a little bit, because we saw them gravitate and be able to catch out. Oh, we caught out 2 members here. We can wrap around them. But then the same exact thing happened to them with the follow-up play from Perps and Sly. So they do regain control, get a little bit more purple towards the green side of the map. That Stingray will come out for now, but the Baller with plenty of clams in front of the field goal, and that's going to be at least one barrier broken here, maybe a couple points to boot with it.
Maybe so, but you see that's a 0 on the clam marker. Still just 1, but there was not a ton of follow-up there. It's good that they were able to at least get a score. You'll see here this is not going to be a big penalty. So it's going to take 1 power clam here, which they presumably will have a chance to build with 90 seconds left, and just a couple more here. So I respect the decision to score there and at least cut into that lead.
9 clams on the behalf of Squip, alone 24 for the green side total. I don't have very much thoughts beyond Dredgelords seeming to maybe wrap this one up. That's a super jump right next to the field goal with no blue ink to be seen. Discount Veterans looking to get back on the defensive. Does move over from the right side, middle side of the map, which makes me think, where were they just a few seconds ago?
They were able to clean that up pretty quickly, though. If
Yeah,
there is any positivity to be drawn from that, they cleaned that up. They really didn't even lose any. I mean, they lost some points, but I feel like they didn't lose a whole lot of momentum, right? It's still going to be 2 power clams and some change that's going to give them that back. And Silver going to be leading the charge here with Umbrella. Is he going to opt to go for the kill or go push in? It looks like they are going to opt to try to clean this up. They know that this cut needs to be a deep one. Can you clutch it? That's a trade, but that's also 7 clams that were dropped as a result.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because Silver really had something going for him, and that's a football drop as well with 30 seconds left to go. This is looking rather rough here for the Discount Veterans side, as they might be looking at a 1-3 deficit, but there's still 20 seconds. There's still time in the game, and there's still a roster of players, and one of those being Perp. Starting this one off with at least 1 spot, is able to barely avoid this type of meep and gets to the right side of the map. They're looking to position themselves for an offensive, and it's looking quite well right now.
Needed that, and he got it quick, but great job by PK waiting there. That is 2 down, but there's no resources to put that one in. They had maybe 10 more seconds that they needed before that push was going to go through. They had pushed Perps up. They had gotten 2 there, but again, the one time that they were able to sneak a baller in was the only time they were able to score. Outside of that, Dredgelords, great defense. But that's one of the reasons why people don't like Manta Maria Clam Blitz, because it does become very turtly. It becomes very slow. It becomes a matter of sitting back and defending and forcing the opponent to make very difficult pushes that are obviously telegraphed.
Yeah, and those telegraph plays, very easy to tell apart when you set it up. You can obviously avoid it if you really want. These teams often have played at a level where they can sneak a clam in a millisecond before it actually pops in the barrier, but we haven't seen that, at least in this set alone. Going into the next game, we will have Game 5 coming up here. Tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard. 9, what's the take here? What do we need to see? I think at least in terms of comps, I like Sly Squelcher for this one especially.
Yeah, Sly Squelcher is going to be a great pick. I feel very similarly to this map as I do about the last one that we saw in Tower Control, which was Muscle Forge Fitness, where that first checkpoint is just open season for any charger or any long-range weapon here. It's easy to flank if the spinner is down. If the spinner is up, it's still easy to attack. And then that second checkpoint isn't much further up than that. It's just a little bit forward, a little bit to the left, and then up a little bit. So those 2 checkpoints, if you can get past those checkpoints, you're home free for many, many points. But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I almost would rather – see, this is tough because you need a Stingray here. I absolutely think you need a Stingray. But I would almost rather see another – I don't know if Slimy should stay on Blaster here, but I would like to see more burst damage around the tower because we saw them get caught out in a lot of awkward situations where they weren't able to kill who was on the tower in their last tower control game.
Right. Even in that, well, I would also say that some of those pushes weren't structured or set up maybe in the best means. I mean, we saw in some of their final pushes when they got a band of 4 players together, and let's say, I would see, Sly as one of the 2 members maybe on the tower and pushing up that quickly, maybe show some signs of some lack of coordination there in terms of how they should best structure and best, make their pushes efficient. But that being said, they get another chance here to rectify things. This, of course, losers finals coming up here. The loser, Discount Veterans, potentially, if they aren't able to wrap this one up, it might be them knocked out of the tournament. Let's see what's happening here in Game 5 as Dredgelords looking to wrap things up themselves.
Not much of a switch from Dredgelords in their comp here. They are going to continue to bring out the Ink Armor here, which I think has been a big, big nuisance. And we're going to see some Ink Armors on both sides here. So a lot of times, the conventional response to a great charger on the enemy team is to double up on Ink Armor. There's only one Ink Armor here from the Discount Veterans, but I think they have the right idea. But this is starting off pretty ugly. Good trade there by Slimy. He was able to get what was essentially a double. That's going to allow them to take the spinner back and at least slow this down for a little bit.
If just for a little. We have Silver here towards the middle of the map. Going to get a quick start with that Ink Armor to be able to push up on in, and we saw immediately the effect that was able to have. Ink Armor able to help at least secure one splat, get some more ping down on the others, but still at that second checkpoint is Dredgelords, and doing a good job at it too, pushing up, and it looks like that checkpoint's going to be done.
Yeah, that checkpoint's falling fast, and this position for the sniper is very, very scary because you're going to be able to see it, and I understand why you'd go with this early Stingray to just try and ward people off and give yourself a chance to move in. Just enough for Silver to sneak his way through, and they are going to be able to shut this push down. There's only one person left alive. It's going to be Suki waiting around here in the middle, but a very unfortunate blast is going to actually reveal that position. Great movement. How are you still alive? Okay. I was about to say, okay, you get two of those, not a third one.
Yeah, there was no timeline in which you should exist after that. No. But Slimy now able to convert that maybe into something else. That's a one splat going down. Sponge activated. Maybe something coming out here from Slimy, but unfortunately no snipe coming in from Meep. Ooh, Meep gonna have to be forced to retreat here on the left side of the map. Stingray duel towards the tower. And it's gonna be Discount Veterans that wins that one. Sly comes out big for the push for Discount Veterans here now. But will it be enough? Silver, acting as that front line, needs to get away and does so just in time.
Yes.
Squib goes down, another goes down. Discount Veterans is looking solid here as they're pushing up finally to their first checkpoint.
There you go, and that's how you put
goodness.
pressure on there. Finally, that burst bomb composition warding him back and out of play. All three of them are pushed up here, and timely armor. There's only one special up here from the Dredgelords. This is going to be the lead, and this may be an outright knockout. No one is near the tower.
Able to turn things completely on their heads. Discount Veterans is able to do exactly what they need to not only just come back, not only just keep things alive, but they might be able to shut them down just like that with the Ink Armor burst out of there like that. And that is some life just breathed into a team that definitely needed it. And that, my friend, that looks like not only is the game 6, that looks like...
Do you feel that, Eric? Those are the winds of change, and they're a-blowing.
They are blowing hard here in Seattle, Washington for this Game 6 of Dome Park in the Grass 2018. And 9, yes, I do feel it coming in. We have Rainmaker on Malcolmar coming up, and oh my goodness, I am so excited. What a fun map mode combination to see coming up here towards the ending phases of this one.
It's a scary one, but I want to, just one moment that I want to break down there that really started that entire thing. We were looking and we were smiling a little bit when Slimy opted to use that Booyah Bomb where he did. But you have to realize that that forced the sniper out of position, made him move back. Because of that, that allowed Sly to get off the Stingray a little bit earlier and win that Stingray 1v1. With the Stingray out of the way, they could afford to push up a little bit more aggressively, and it all started to chain in from there.
Yeah, it allowed so much for Sly to be able to hop in into the position where he really should be on the objective and allow the floodgates to really pour out. You want Perps to be in the enemy base. You want Slimy in the enemy base. You want Silver in the enemy base. So those are players you can count on if you're able to set them up. But I think what they've struggled with so far up to this point is just getting to that point in every single game. And they've finally done it, which has been so exciting to see here. So, are we going to see that again on Rainmaker Mako? I feel like this map kind of goes their way too.
I do too, and especially if Slimy's 52 is able to play the way that it was, walls can completely shut down a push on this map. Because, I mean, there's two ways that you can go, right? And they're both pretty narrow. One involves a narrow jump. One involves a narrow swim down a narrow corridor. So walls can be so good here. And honestly, I think that his 52 is his most consistent weapon right now.
It really is.
And
if you talk to Slimy about just playing Splatoon, period, or have played with them at any point in the last 3 years of your life, it will probably have been with that weapon.
Yes.
Regardless of the game. Like, it's been, so it makes a ton of sense. And we'll see if this momentum can continue. Game 6, losers finals here. Dredgelords looking to respond as they always do, but this time for good in this set. Discount Veterans looking to keep up that momentum in the yellow.
Keep an eye on Tsuki. This brush is terrifying on this map. This is one of the brush's best maps as a whole. And I think it's going to be even scarier. They're already coming up and forcing 3 people off of the same block, overextending a little bit. Discount Veterans not going to fold that easily. But the assault on this block, I think, is one of the fun dynamics of this, because you know that the opponents are going to go there. Can you pressure them off? So far, the answer for Dredgelords is yes.
It is yes, it seems. And it looks like they're going to be able to roll with this offensive pretty nicely and lean into it a bit more here. They do have the Rainmaker Sure maybe ending right now, but the Ink Armor is a bit... Oh, I thought that was gone. Yeah, that was... are we sure we're on land? Like, that was some interesting stuff to see. But either way, PK barely able to get it and moves into that 48-point marker. Imagine if they hadn't at least secured that just because they grabbed the Rainmaker too soon. Would have been a shame, but it wasn't the biggest push, of course. That's still... something more
48 really not all that bad on this map. You can see that that was the very start of that really narrow corridor that you have to swim down. So that's where the game can start to open up and start to snowball for you. So stopping them there is, again, a pretty good look. Perps using that baller pretty early, kind of going out by themselves. They need to find a way to get Sly into position where he can contribute, and oh, Slimy DC.
I believe it's going to be a DC. That's going to be something.
That is rough here.
We'll have to see how that pans out, but either way, we'll play on that for now. Silver on the left side of the map, waiting and biding their time here. Neat here is going to get at least a burst bomb onto him, gets taken out, and Silver's still in a great position to really oversee where this Rainmaker goes. Sly here on the middle of the map, and it's going to be Sly coming in. Getting some shots on the Inkjet, but at least we'll be able to move things over and get things going their way. But Rainmaker's still, unfortunately, still going to come on in. It's still surprisingly kept to the middle of the map here in this 3v4. Meep getting pushed back a good bit before having some assistance from their teammate.
Running up here, Sly going to do his best to kind of ward people off. Sometimes you use a Stingray in a little bit of an earlier position to allow people to get back to the middle. I know that conventionally you would try to use it to fight people off and kind of pick out the objective, but sometimes if you're having trouble getting back to the middle, you opt to do it a little bit differently. Replay, that is the official word from the TOs. That is what we're doing, a full-on replay. Technical issues here.
If nothing else, you would, this is something that I am more than fine with to see, because Game 7, you never like seeing it happen like that, so.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing this one run back again. I think that's a heart.
Oh, the heart was drawn, and Judd had the audacity to block it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, well, as it is. Either way, I think we're all set here for a reset. Yeah, it seems as we're going to be going back to the game in just a minute, but hey, cookies. Courtesy of the people that came here to Don't Bark in the Grass, we're having a little bit of a snack fest. I believe the hot cocoa is coming out at some point rather shortly.
Yeah, I believe Claire made these. She posted on Twitter, who wants cookies, homemade cookies? And I said yes.
Who would say no?
Who would? The cookies, come on. Delicious, chewy,
that's called value add if I've seen it to that hot cocoa order. But yeah, with that being said, we're having some fun here and getting started. Looks like we still are in the middle of getting our teams ready and in the match. And so with that being said, 9 thoughts on where this game will now, especially after the break, where that kind of takes us at this point.
I mean, you could tell from the opening there that the immediate plan was, so Slimy got sniped very early on in that, right? He was going up to put pressure on the opponent's block. Meep was ready, hit that snipe. As soon as that snipe went down and they knew that the 52 wasn't going to be in their face anymore, they pushed their brush to try to pressure Sly and the rest of the gang off.
Right.
That kind of ended up in a neutral exchange, but you can see what the general idea is. So it's all a chain reaction, right? That snipe gets hit, that allows the brush to push people off of the opponent's block. That allows you to then move your charger up into a more aggressive and powerful position on your block. So it all kind of connects together, and I think that that's just kind of how this map is played, especially when you have a team that plays with a charger, is they find ways to move the charger up. And again, Meep, I know we've been saying that name a lot. We've been saying charger, sniper. but a fantastic set so far. And that's going to need to be the catalyst for them.
Yeah, no, it's certainly been the catalyst already in a number of matches, and something that we can certainly expect to, at least going into it, see more from. But that being said, we're going to game number 6. Once again, 3-2 in favor of Dredgelords. Discount Veterans looking to bring this one back. Once again, in game number 6, it's going to be Discount Veterans in the green this time, Dredgelords in the purple.
All right, all 8 people on the map and ready to go, of course. Going to keep the same weapons. And we'll see the same thing, a pop. Nobody sniped. This time the wall does come out in time. And the same opening, but this time the Discount Veterans had a plan for it there. They were able to take out that push. Now look at this. They're the ones that are putting the pressure. And now the last one up is Meep, who's going to need to make a great snipe to even slow this down. But this is a completely different game.
What is
they
this
opted
game
to go
that's happening in front of us?
to the left side there. A great response. You don't always get a mulligan, but they did not fall from the same opening twice.
They really didn't. And they let the viewers at home know that. That's a complete reversal here for the 52-point marker, and still getting camped out kind of out their base nicely. Job well done by Perps' side. Sly unable to hold his ground quite there, but
Ooh, I am slightly concerned about what we're seeing here. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing about this map is you do spawn right next to the obvious pathway here. So that is why it's a little bit scary and a little more difficult to push down there. Great job so far. You see at the top of the screen, that's been, I think, the second time that the only person alive left has been the Charger. That tells me that they're doing a good job keeping the Charger out of the action, and it's making the 1v1s that they're fighting a lot easier.
That's a really interesting point, and I wonder, how present they are with that decision making, because that's something I would love to see if they do that even consistently. And that would reflect, yeah, we really understand that Meep is kind of something to deal with, and we're trying to, as much as a team as possible, to do something about that. That being said, Discount Veterans not in a great place to necessarily get to Meep, but still, again, in a great position to get rid of all of his teammates. Unfortunately, not going to happen quite yet. That Squid Armor is going to come out, and PK looking really nice for a push here, but does spot out one green player in front of him. Oh, wait, but this might be it.
2 people going down, 3 going down.
9.
Oh, but the one nearest is stuck in Inkjet. They might not be able to grab this, and Silver did get called
and
out
that's gonna be
there.
Yeah, that's going to be the lead there for Dredgelords, showing up, looking to take this to grand finals once again. Of course, 3 minutes left to go in this one. This game is still not over yet, but Dredgelords looking pretty good here towards that 34.
I do not know how they knew.
How
did they know Silver was there?
Yeah.
That is what I am still scratching my head about, because that was a direct.
It really was. and yeah, God bless Silver in that situation. Oh. You don't expect that every time you pop it, but you hope.
You hope. You always hope. And now, again, the last one up is going to be Meep, very wisely not grabbing it here. And this is a very early Stingray. They're going to try to use this to zone people away, and they are going to opt to swim straight up. Perp's not going to be able to make it.
That's so important, too, because Meep was just actually able to get to their special right about now, and Meep just barely avoiding getting splatted earlier, now has the Stingray to be able to get this push to where it needs to be.
That was a very interesting choice to go straight down. They were really trying to get those points as quickly as they could, not opting to go to the left side, which would have been the safer push in that situation, but might have given the opponent time. Perp's going to be sharking around now, and the combination of a Rainmaker shot and a snipe going to take him out here. And now this Rainmaker's in a really crummy position. There is something to be said in this map for the positioning of the Rainmaker and how it can influence things.
Yeah, I'd say that is the most open point of the map by far. Maybe one of the more open parts of the game, surely. But he got driven and maybe losing to the Stingray. Sherman was able to survive for a minute or 2. Perps here hiding in the corner, is able to activate that baller, maybe in time to get his splat. Is indeed, doesn't get the double like might have been anticipating, but does spot out one player still. Unable to get to them, but does push out. Important enough when that Rainmaker is still all the way back there. So 9. We have about a minute left to go in this one. The tide has so far mostly been in Dredgelords' way. Do you see the comeback rolling in, or is that something you haven't seen quite enough evidence to justify?
Well, it's going to be very difficult, and I really think the tail of the tape is going to be the specials in these last couple minutes here, because, again, we've seen the Stingray here. We know what Stingrays are capable of. And, one thing that I don't think I've called out enough here, these point sensors from Squib, they have been the annoying fly that has been buzzing around them the entire time. But they are strong, and this is a map where you can really take a bunch of interesting angles to flank, and you can take a number of ways to get up these boxes. That has not really been a factor here because of them.
It hasn't. It really hasn't. Silver here on the left side of the wall. Ooh, at least get winning. Oh my goodness, I thought he might have been able to get 2 or even 3.
I think that's that situation where you shoot 4 shots and they all hit someone else.
15 seconds left to go in this one. There's not much time left. Discount Veterans, if they're doing it now and doing it live. But will it happen in time? They do get and force some players out positionally. That's important. But will they be able to follow up with something more? Stingray does go out. Slimy going to opt to take the Rainmaker and rendering him as the one to make the comeback. Does get a hit marker onto one person. Forced to come back a little bit. But his boots are shaking. Will they be able to run this one back, playing awfully cautiously? You see. And the final second ticket Inkjet does come out, and that's going to corner Slimy, and that's going to be the set. As congratulations to Dredgelords for being able to roll through with this one. It was looking like Discount Veterans maybe had something to say about it, but Dredgelords able to put it up in the end and able to make a grand finals visit.